Hello, this is Joe. We're joined today by Lisa and Ray so far. Perhaps more will come along. Charlie's out of whack because he has no headphones, which is essential if you're calling in from a Starbucks. And other people may be wrapped up in holiday preparations. Charlotte was posting pictures of her literally wrapping copies of the Peeragogy Handbook to send out. So that's part of what I think we're going to talk about today. Oops, there goes Lisa. Maybe she'll be back. Yeah, so we have a bunch of copies of the handbook printed and ready to distribute. And so that's something to talk about. And yeah, what else? Well, whatever seems interesting. So Ray and I, we're talking about Planet Math stuff, although maybe not the most pedagogical aspects of Planet Math. And Lisa seems to be coming and going. So maybe Ray, it would be good to ask. Hi, welcome back, Lisa. Since it's been a while, Ray, since you were on such a call, do you want to update us about any pedagogical activities, either related to the project or just interesting peer learning things going on in your life?
Well, since we're talking about category theory, I think that's an interesting example of pedagogy in action, as I mentioned. Okay. So there's a group of us in New York. The attendance will vary between 5 and 30 people, depending on which week. Kind of like what we do here. We have a weekly thing, except instead of being weekly on Mondays, they're bi-weekly on Wednesdays, where what we've done is, taken a certain textbook in category theory and are going through it, where, each session somebody lectures on it, and we're basically teaching each other the subject.
Nice. What's the book, out of curiosity?
Okay. It's a book on sheaves by McLean and Moyerdijk.
Okay.
So, yeah. In fact, last week I was the one doing the lecturing.
How did that go?
Oh, I think it went all right. I lost some steam near the end, but I think I managed to understand some topics well enough to make a worthwhile explanation.
That sounds good. Yes. Well, it sounds challenging. Maybe I can get a copy of the book and follow along as a remote member, which could be kind of interesting.
Sure.
So, Charlotte is here with us. How are you doing?
At least that's, by the way, how I see our category talk in Planet Math, potentially linking back to pedagogy as well.
Yeah, I think that these kind of local learning groups there's quite a bit of potential to make that more global with something like this. Charlotte, how are you doing today?
Well, my message for the day is do not go near the Burlington Mall in Burlington, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Which probably generalized to any mall anywhere.
That could be, yes, very wise observation.
Okay.
In fact, you could probably do a math problem between, the number of, stores, the number of cars, the number of desperate people.
It's all coming to a head right now.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for wrapping up those Peeragogy handbooks. By the way, I got my.
Yeah, that was fun. I have to get your 3 to you, right?
So yeah, there's 3 going to the UK. That's a little less urgent.
Yeah. They're all out now. The ones to California and the US ones, and I don't know when Paolo's will go out, but I've had a few obstacles, not too bad. But.
Nice work, though. So, yeah, I thought maybe we could focus today a bit on the crowdfunding, because Lisa sent that great email around for us, and you said you put it into a Google Doc. Maybe.
Well, I think I did. What was it, IndieGoGo?
Yeah, it says something about IndieGoGo, yeah.
IndieGoGo proposal, August 28th. Ugh.
No,
maybe I didn't. I meant to, and I think I loaded my clipboard and didn't do it. But okay. Here's the. I'll put it in our session here.
And Lisa, just checking, how are you? And is your audio working today?
It should be working if this is okay.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I hear you. You
Yeah.
sound fine.
Great.
Lisa, do you want to grab your email and put it into this doc? I don't think I got it there.
Oh, there's the doc. Okay.
Hi, Ray.
Oh, okay. So the only one thought I had was, I just had, hello. So one thought I had looking at it just came to mind. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but maybe just because of all the meetups and things I have, I'm wondering if they're, when you're talking about how to communicate to people, whether some sort of lecturing, wouldn't help. Like, for example, well, I guess one question is, places like teachers, colleges even care about pedagogy?
It's a good question, for sure.
Mhm.
So I'm going to paste it in if it's okay. Just at the end.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks. I'm still trying to find it.
I put it in the Hangout, the Drive link in the Hangout chat window. You could just click on it and open it.
Pro tips, we'll call it. Pro tips.
Now, of course, the other thought is, what about trying to get into university libraries?
That's another interesting idea for sure. I just was at my university. I was over there. I was browsing some section. I saw a book by Howard Rheingold. Maybe they want another one by Howard Rheingold and co-authors.
Yeah, I mean, because this is something I was going back to when we were talking about our free encyclopedia of math. That we talked about that, and for example, the fact that, let's say, if you know someone at college, they can do things like fill out the form saying which book they think it would be nice for the library to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the campaign could be, if you're a student or a professor, go down to your university library and ask them to get a copy of this.
Ray, do you have this IndieGoGo proposal or document?
I'm reading the email now. That's why I was making the point. The things I was saying were response exact to the questions in the letter.
Yeah, I was going to share the document itself with you, where we're consolidating all that, and your comments could go on there as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Ray Puzio, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just sent you a link to it.
Fine. Okay.
I'm having just serious black hole email issues.
Uh-oh.
It's just like everyone is going off in a different direction, and it's just hard being me. That's what all there is to it.
Too much email is never a good thing.
So consolidating it around one proposal.
The email came through, but then says Google Drive has an error.
Oh, well, we see you there, so maybe try reloading. But yeah, you keep coming in, but it doesn't work. Obviously, there's like 4 copies of you, none of them working, perhaps. But
do you have another email address that I can use?
Well, I think that should work.
Email. What about just put the link here in the chat for this thing, right? I mean,
I did. Yes, I did.
This is the problem.
Okay, well, I'll look for it there. Yeah.
You may have to request access. I'm not sure.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
It says anyone with the link can view.
Okay.
Can't edit.
All right.
Well, all right. Well, maybe let's just wait a minute or two. Let me see if I can.
Yep.
Let me try. Yeah, before going further, let's see if I can get it, and then we'll.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll work.
Just double before we get too worried. Let me see if I can't get it, and.
That should work. Okay. Another thing I can do is I'll just screen share, so you guys will see what I'm seeing in our usual traditional style. So this is what I see. But no, let me. Yeah, it's not too big. Oh,
So I was so proud of my little booklet thing.
Yeah, that looked nice.
Very cute.
I think people will probably find that those who find the book too long will say, "Oh, well, this book is too long."
And well, as long as an equal number say it's too short, then it's probably the right length.
Yeah. Well,
that's a math problem too, isn't it?
They each have an option. Well, this is a good thing for for market
statistics.
research. Lisa, I think is just asking about the pricing again, so we should probably put that into that.
Oh,
She's just saying.
well, priority pricing is $5.75. That's like priority mail.
That's on top of the 11.
No, it would be 11 with domestic shipping. If just regular ground, no, you don't care when it gets there.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a straight up 11 per book, and then that's.
Yeah, and then it's like $2.45 or something, but our cost is $8.64, and
Okay.
whatever. That I'm happy with that. If I can just make the cost back, it's awesome.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I copied that from the chat into the top of this document, so please correct it if that's not correct. But since it's probably fairly close to correct.
Or U.S. Yeah.
And
then the international mailing it's variable, so I just have to kind of bill you for it, and I'll ship them and bill you or whatever. But
Okay.
Joe, is it too complicated for you to figure out how to print it there?
I'd just rather get some of these copies off your hand. I don't think that I don't think shipping is gonna be that much, although they don't have an international media rate anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If they ever had an international media rate, they don't have it now. But I would say just send it over. I'm not looking for more than those 3 copies right now, so I don't think it's going to be heavy.
Okay.
But we'll see if it's like $20 to ship it, then come back to me, I guess.
It could be that much. It's like a little over £1 per book.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm gonna try and get.
Now, by the way, I got the document you have.
Excellent. So let's go into the. I think that there's certain things that we should do. I think we should put to do like so. Lisa has a bunch of comments about basically how to coordinate it, how to do it in a sensible way. But I think we could start by putting a simple instruction such as the one above about how to buy it on peeragogy.org. I proposed that anyway.
So one quick question too. Sorry, Charlotte. When it says mail to, do you mean PayPal? Since you're giving your email address.
Yeah. It's daytripper@peerspress.com is my business one.
For PayPal. Good. Okay. I just wanted to confirm it was through PayPal.
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. It's all good. I just hate to do it and then have something screwed up.
I know. It's usually you'll get a confirmation and I'll get a confirmation, and so it's good.
Okay.
So Ray was saying start by giving some public or academic lectures or some other. I mean, Charlotte, you found 6 buyers, for example, at Plop.
Yep.
Who got to know you. So.
And I gave 6 away. But about the same amount. Bought a copy for $15.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like it. If we got you into the Berkman Center, there's always 15 people or so there. And you could also, that would be another kind of targeted advertising to just put a slide up that says, hey, you can, because people will watch those talks, at least I have watched them from remotely,
I need to, I need to contact them maybe for a book launch and hangout session with the Peeragogy group in January. Maybe. Does that sound?
Yeah.
And if you have any strategies on how to approach people, I did stick the paper as it was last October in the hands of the director by inserting myself, as Karen knows, into the circle around him after the talk. But yeah, I think we could probably do that. I'll just have to bite the bullet and call.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some way to get into there as a.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, what's her name?
Willow.
No, not Willow. The really much more famous than Willow. From the Dresden Dolls. What's her name?
What?
From the Dresden Dolls.
Who?
Oh man, my brain is like cramped.
Uh, well, Willow and I bonded at the open house because we both have blue hair.
Oh yeah, okay. This other woman is Amanda Palmer. I think she doesn't have blue
Oh,
hair.
Amanda Palmer is there?
She's an affiliate of them, so she's like a
Oh.
guru of all crowdfunding because she was
Oh,
like
there she is.
the best crowdfunder ever. If we could give her a copy, maybe she could help us get the word out.
Yeah. How do we make it like? I don't know what she's like, but.
Well, she's married to Neil Gaiman. I know that, and she's part of the Dresden Dolls.
Yeah.
Very indie. Like there's a whole music scene in Boston that like, grew up around the Dresden Dolls.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that band either, but like.
Well, I periodically correspond with Neil Gaiman on Twitter,
Wow.
like through IFNI. You know, I'll ask a question like, "Do you want to speak at our conference?" He says, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm having a baby this week." You know, and that was last year.
Yeah.
And this year, he got out of it by saying he had to stick to writing. So I said, "Oh, well, lucky us." Yeah.
Well, but this makes sense. So I mean, maybe you could say, hey, here's something that has a really low overhead. Can I drop a version of this book by your house or like by your PO box more likely, and can you tweet about it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That like maybe more likely Amanda than Neil, but like people
Well,
like that or Howard could really put the word out. Of course.
Maybe I'll just call what's his name? Karen, what's his name? The director of the Jonathan Zittrain.
Yeah, Jonathan Zittrain.
Just call his secretary and see what the best word. Okay.
But of course, if we got a copy or so into the hands of Ray as well, he could at least show it to some of the people in this meetup, maybe some of the other meetups around the existing ones.
Ray, why don't you send me your...
I'll keep an eye out for anyone who might be interested.
You want me to send you a couple of copies so you have a physical thing to...
if you kind of... if it's not too much trouble, I mean, let's just say one. Well, just say one copy, probably, So if I do, so if and when I run into someone suitable, I'll just take that along and show them.
Yeah, we have. I got some financing for the printed copies we have, and we can put our new cover on them if we want. But I need to go down there to get the rest of them.
Yeah. Yes,
but I'll send you a few. You're kind of an ally and full participant.
Well, as I said, I don't have anything definite, but I'll, should something come up, I'll definitely, show it around.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, and I feel good about selling it because we are giving it away. If people want it for free, then that's what they can have it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want a physical copy, which many people do, then that's how we can get some traction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking also with physical copies and traction, there's also the idea that, like I said, let's say people see in their university library, then they might make the thing seem more legitimate to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we can get library binding put on it if we ask for it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Something to mention.
Yeah, so maybe we should include the ability that people can order that. I suppose there's no minimum order for the library binding.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we could ask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But maybe the minimum. I don't think that the minimum order is, at least if it's the same place where I went in when I was living there, like they have
Uh-huh.
they'll do theses and stuff like individual books.
Yeah, you pay, if you order 200 or more, you get a significant drop in price, which is why
One for that.
I booked it under, I asked for the price for 200, and then before I could turn around, they'd printed them all. But that's not a problem. I think we can sell them with a little, the booklet and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like I ordered 10. Had it been 100, that would have been 10%. As it was, it's only 5.
Mm-hmm.
But even so,
Mm-hmm.
there ought to be a few more people out there. I think Ray's idea of lectures, one thing that brings to mind is like teachers, and it may not be every teacher's college, but there must be some teacher out there. David Preston comes to mind, but like, or Howard comes to mind, but I think both of them are like not in the classroom teachers right now. But like, there's got to be some teacher who would want to use it as a classroom book, in which case they could, buy 20 copies or more for one class.
Yep. You just have to kind of keep it out there like a.
Yeah.
I mean, so we were just in touch with this woman, Kari, what's her name? Kira. Remember her? Kira Baker Doyle. Howard sent.
Oh yes.
Probably part of the black hole of emails, but I'm interested in radical teachers, so we could ask her, hey, is there a place where we could get this into the classroom?
Also, I have a question, maybe for Charlotte. I was wondering, let's say with public libraries, so are there, how do they usually go about buying books, and is there any place that one should, get it listed or whatever that would make that more likely?
Yeah, there's. We did send it to the New England Library Association conference, and there are different regional library conferences where I wasn't able to go to that, so I wasn't able to then, personally sort of put it out there. But it is out there in that we have a catalog for the show that the librarians took home with them. So those librarians could be followed up with, and I can do that, or find some IPNY people that we could offer a panel of New England authors and publishers or something. They want events in their libraries. They're not. They want to become community centers, and that is one thing that you can do if you can offer a panel or an activity, or like I was thinking that workshop that Paula and Charlie did or tried to do started to do in Mexico, Wikimedia Mania. That would be kind of a cool thing if we could present it right.
Well, or for example, you mentioned all these activities, right? I know, for example, in your public library has, plenty of activities. So one question would be if enough people of us would be able to put together some sort of, panel discussion or whatever. I mean, certainly if people were willing to join, I could, obviously in the area, so I could join in and have, let's say one of these days, an afternoon on Peeragogy as an event in the library.
And yeah, I mean, whoever's in person can be there, and then we could, pipe it in via Hangout, which they were just blown away with at the PLOP conference. They just said, "This has never been done," real-time workshopping and with a team of author contributors. So it was pretty cool. It was stressful but fun,
Well, it's probably more stressful for you because you had to be the apex or the whatever of the hourglass. It was really fun for me and not stressful.
I had to do tech and content a little bit, so I had to be kind of aware of what was going on.
Maybe this is a place where your buddy list pattern could be good if it was possible to have two people on the site, then one could kind of deal with the local crowd and the other one could deal with the tech.
Yeah. Well, I've got my buddy Karen is usually willing if she's free, but she's not on the line anymore. She's having connection problems.
She's been trying, but
yeah, the libraries they are they are very open to events, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Another thought just came to mind, a couple brainstorms, which is, of course, all of the authors. We can write to them by email. We could possibly, given that we've got all these books around, make some educated guesses about, like, if we send them, one copy, will they, for free, will they, like Ray was saying, show it to people? Because many of those people, they joined the handbook 2 or 3 years ago, and we haven't heard from them much. Some of them continue to be like fans of Peeragogy, and every so often kind of stick their head in, and some of them may have great ideas about where to sell it. There's a teacher in New York, what's his name? I can't remember, who was working in language stuff. He's often posting.
Oh yeah, not Zorro. It's
Okay, I can just look at the license, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, not Zapata. It's like something interesting name. I just came across him.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. No, you're right. There was that guy who didn't
like a fashion guy.
Yeah, at FIT. Yeah, you're right. I think he's FIT or New School. Yeah, that isn't what I was thinking of, though. I was thinking of Paul Allison at the other end of the alphabet.
He lurks around. I actually had a discussion with him recently online.
Yeah. That
he said I'd like to be involved. I think that was him. And I've been lurking and watching and yes, yay you, and so I think it was Paul Allison. Anyway, I kind of trail around with some of those people, the original contributors.
Yeah, they're still around. There's the Howard Rheingold HRU.
Yeah, HRU needs to be. Where are we putting this on?
Right.
All right.
Ray, were you going to say something?
Well, I just found something. I was looking in your public library. For example, they have something called the Coleman Institute for Teachers. And they say that they have, they offer says Coleman Institute offers 2 programs for professional development, give teachers upward and enrich your understanding and so on. They have spring seminars which last a day, are free or something. So maybe possible, so something like that might be might be possible.
Yeah, I think with conferences and speaking and stuff, probably 6 months lead time is probably minimum.
That's no rush, or it might even be a year with that. But still, it would seem if that would something like this would make sense. That here's a part of the library center devoted for teaching.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's part of the library, not part of the Columbia, like the Columbia Teachers College or whatever. This is specifically part of a public library, so like we have every right to go in there and inquire, whereas Columbia, maybe not. We'd have to have a connection, So that's certainly worth following up with that or other places similar to it.
Looks like £5 to the UK. Priority Mail Express is $75. Is that right?
Yeah, well, don't spend it by priority. Send it by the slowest.
Well, I don't see any other Global Express guaranteed. That can't be right. Huh. Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
So they don't have some like a media rate to
I guess not. I guess not. But I will figure it out. I've shipped things for not too much, but they weren't quite as heavy.
Yeah, well, last time I sent something was a catalog of the Library of Congress.
Yeah, but that Oh, it's printed on CD, so that came out pretty well, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, all of these people, I'm sure we have their email, and there was a mailing list, or not an email list. Probably shouldn't show it, but like if I can find it, there was a list of people who had expressed interest. You know, do you remember that, Charlotte?
Yeah. Just you can. Yeah, you got that.
Yes.
I would look for. I don't know.
Pre-orders.
It was yeah, that was it. Survey. I think it was based on a survey.
Well, anyway, there's a list here, and it had about 20 people on it who wanted to know hands-on. Oof, we don't know a lot of stuff. Oh, this person. I bought her book, Network Weaver, June Holly. There's her phone number. I'm a little bit mad because it was $50 for her book, and it came with like a spiral binding, which is just crap. So I feel like
Oh boy.
to buy something.
Is that from our interested parties?
No, it's just someone Howard referred me to her and thought I would enjoy the book, which I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was worth $50 for a spiral copy.
Now, as far as getting somebody to kind of be the mover, a header of the IndieGoGo campaign, is that something we want to do all together, or in our weekly sessions, or I'm just thinking about when you go away, Joe.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think there's enough time for me until, say, January 15th, which is the final due date of our paper. So I want to, like, my action items before that date are to get the book, to get rid of that beta on the book so we can get a PDF somewhere that doesn't say beta 3. Probably Lightning Source will be the official release. That different. So there's that. And that may take up a lot of time, but not all of my time. So, so I'd like to help with that. I think Charlie seems a bit busy to be the point person. Lisa had a lot of great points, but she pointed out that it's like a full-time job, and I don't know if she wants another full-time job just because she has a good idea about how to do it. So, but I think we definitely should find someone who wants to lead it.
Here we go. It's Charlie's document. It's register to be notified.
Oh, so basically, Lisa's saying in chat, where am I going? So basically, it wasn't quite an announcement, but just more this awareness that, like, my job comes to an end in about 9 or 10 months, and I don't have another one lined up yet. So basically, until I know what my next job is, I'm gonna have to, like, be looking for a job. So I think that's gonna be my main.
Can you appear on the Hangouts and dispense wisdom?
Yeah, I'll still exist on Earth, so I might come in sometimes. But gonna be.
Yeah. So did y'all get that interested people link?
I'm still looking for it.
No, it's in the. I just put it in the chat.
Sorry.
There's about.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't flash their email addresses to the whole world, but there they are.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will stop flashing them to the whole world, but you guys can look at it.
Yeah. There's 65, and I have mailed them once in a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure I mailed them. I know I mailed them for the version 2, and I don't think there was much response, but.
That's true. Well, but I guess we can always include a kind of unsubscribe link into the email. It just says, look, if you don't want to be contacted about this anymore, we won't contact you. But I guess that we've listed probably 200 people who we kind of know, right? Like HRU, the co-authors of the book, these people on this list.
And I've gone through Peeragogy in Action, the community, which has over 1,000, inactive people. But I pulled the ones that I kind of recognized from there and other places that have been active, and I pulled them off into a circle, a separate circle. So I'm not done with that because there's so many, but
Yeah.
That has about a 200 in it now too.
Well, I suppose we could always do some kind of like direct marketing and just like individually slowly go through there and send them each of the 1,000 people an email that just says, hey, we just published a book. Would you like to buy a copy? I feel like the hit rate would be really low because they don't do much in that community. But
yeah, I mean, you have to kind of figure when you're doing something like that what makes it desirable for them to take action on, and how to phrase that. To me, whenever I stick the book in someone's face, and they actually take the time to or focused on the content, they kind of say, wow, this is really neat. And, do I have to read it all? No, you don't have to read it all.
Yeah.
But what problem does it solve for them? And I think one of the best things is, depending on who they are, but if you want to learn or produce something without a lot of the hierarchy and startup cost, it's a good way to bootstrap that into existence.
So Lisa said in the comments that there's two things going on. There's sales and then there's IndieGoGo. I think that's true. I mean, for someone who wants to support the Peeragogy project, and that's what they want, right? They just want to support the project.
But
the book is sort of an extra.
But there are many things in common between selling the book and IndieGoGo. You still want to solve a problem for them.
Yeah.
I think the thing is when we're moving through this, though, we'll need to be clear and focused on which one we're talking about. Because if the IndieGoGo is to raise money, then maybe, to help defray some of those costs, then maybe we need to look at the book as part of that fundraising effort. And that's an asset to the IndieGoGo campaign. If we're just looking at, if the IndieGoGo campaign doesn't go well, then we would want to back up and say, okay, we just need to cover our costs on the book too. And then maybe do something separate for the book. But it's when we bounce back and forth, it's like, are we talking about just reaching out to them to buy the book? Are we talking about really building the IndieGoGo campaign and reaching out to them for the campaign?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like these, and if we don't want to bug them and like send them too many emails. Oh, by the way, here's another email, which Charlotte says we don't want to do that. If we get that clear communication across, like, hey, it's two very different things, but like, hey, buy this book, or hey, here's an IndieGoGo where you could buy the book, or if you don't want to buy it, please share it with your network because one of them might. Like, I think that would definitely amplify it versus just emailing these people and saying buy the book, to say, hey, please share this campaign.
Or also just make clear that yes, we want to support, but we're also just trying to get the word about Peeragogy out.
Yeah, that's I think exactly right. I think we want to, keep in our minds all the time why we're really doing this, and it's to get this way of thinking and structuring communities out there.
So here's this IndieGoGo thing. I guess we could record a little bit. This is I'm screen sharing still, right? Yeah. So this is the thing I have. This one edit. This is based on their template, I think, and then Charlie made some notes and I made a few notes. So this is as close as we have to a reply to them. Like everything that's not in gray, that just comes from them. So this isn't like real text. I think I should switch the gray with the non-gray, but I won't take the time to do that now because we don't have much time. But I think like short summary, we can just go through this line by line. It just says support peer learning, support, what does it even say? Support peer learning producing across the world by publishing the Peeragogy Handbook. Okay, well that doesn't...
Peers learning and producing.
It must be signed in. Let me sign in and we can make a couple of changes just as you dictate to me what to change. Oh, two factors. Sorry.
Mhm.
It's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
A little bit of a pain. Okay. Where was I? Edit. Okay. Okay. Support peers learning, producing across the world by publishing the Peeragogy Handbook. So I don't even know what that's supposed to say. Peer learning.
Peer learning and production, probably.
Hmm.
Right?
I think that's
Wouldn't
just
you say?
peer learning across the world. We've already
I mean,
published the handbook, so
yeah.
um, and there's this thing called a user story, which I've been studying a little bit about. So those go like this: as a blank, let me see. You need to because why? You need blank.
Well, this can be a pedagogy project, and then make it clear that the handbook is one of our main rewards and
Yeah.
things that we produce.
Yeah. So I think if we had a clear target, like publishing the handbook is easy because we've done it, and we've done it like 2 or 3 years running.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need their help to do that. I think first of all by buying the handbook.
Mm-hmm.
But so for example, like as a okay, you buy the Peeragogy handbook.
Oh, Karen's back.
And
I'll mute you,
show
Karen.
how to organize your classes more efficiently, or something like that. I'm just saying that's not necessarily the best answer to the thing that Lisa was saying. Like, what do they really get by buying this handbook? I don't know. But little things like that might actually help.
Oh, I'm going to mute you, Karen, because the clattering. Maybe I'm clattering too. I don't know. Where's Joe? Oh,
In here.
okay.
She's in the library. Okay. And the lights are off too.
What?
Amazing. Yeah, raising money for something. So like buying the handbook. I mean, like that one example I mentioned to you, Lisa, of the phone. You know, you could buy this amazing new Edge phone, but the reason it was crowdfunding is that they needed a certain amount of money to make it worth it to develop the phone. So it's often developing a product, right?
And we could. What do you think about mentioning the accelerators? I mean, I think if we had accelerators going and effective results from them, it would be really cool for this campaign. But you don't want to, I guess, dilute the reason for the funding too much.
Yeah. Also, another thing I just wanted to quote was something that Joe said about 2 years ago. We talked about crowdfunding in our context. That for a lot of people, the crowdfunding is a way of shopping where you get the latest thing.
True. Someone has a really interesting bird.
Bird, that's my phone.
Yes. Oh, no, raise off. But yeah, that's right. Shopping where you get the latest thing. Yes. So indeed, if they're just looking at IndieGoGo as a way to go shopping, and we can say, hey, here are, we could do a bit of other research. Are there other books that have been bought and sold on IndieGoGo or Kickstarter? I think. Oh, there was that woman. What was her name? From New York. Do you remember her? The getting things. The Cult of Dun. I remember her. Cult of Dun. 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 Bray Prentice and Keo Stark. Do you remember Keo Stark? Keo's book. Keo's book. So we could do a bit of background research just to look around at some other books that have sold by crowdfunding. Plus, there's this awesome poster here, Cult of Done Manifesto. Keo Stark crowdfunding book. Crowdfunding. Don't go back to school on Kickstarter. A handbook, a how-to guide for independent learning, with concrete strategies plus stories of people who learn on their own and how they do it. So, 1,588 backers pledged that much money, quite a bit. Teach-in for backers only, informal celebration, books are on their way. Happy ebooks, heading to the printer, preview. I wonder if we could just ask Keo not to manage our campaign, but I wonder if she would donate some of her time to just give us some tips about how she did it back on December 15th of 2011. Amazing first day, and spread the word. So anyway, there's a little case study. Ray, you dropped off just after I was taking notes of what you said, but yeah, I think that's a really good point that a lot of people will just go there to shop. So I was thinking, could we go and do a little bit of market research and/or comparison shopping?
Yeah. Well, or if you think of it that way, then I guess how to phrase the campaign so someone shopping for the latest thing would find it interesting.
Yeah. So here's what she has. Like, you can get a digital copy for 15 or more, plus your name in the acknowledgments. Well, that'd be an interesting thing. Just having an
Well, the name and acknowledgement, the book isn't. Now that's something interesting. It's like, yes, do you want to see your name in print?
Yeah, that's a nice perk. I thought of something I mentioned, I think, by email, that we have a lot of people in different places who might be able to offer to, like, go to dinner. Like, I don't know if she has got that, like, dinner. So sort of like, that I don't think she's personal consultation. Yes, I'll talk to you on the phone or over coffee in New York for 200 or more. But we could make that interesting for people in a lot of places, because, like, we could be in, you know, half dozen.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I could ask some of the people at the Berkman Center, maybe. You know, I think if someone's interested enough to go to lunch with the head of the Berkman Center, they're probably going to be a good person for them to know anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not just some, you know, groupie that's going necessarily.
Okay, let me think. Oh, well, say more about that.
Me?
Yes, please.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just thinking, you know, to go to people and at say the Berkman Center and say, you know, would you participate as a rewardee by going to lunch with somebody?
Oh.
You know, and then they might say, I'm just trying to anticipate objections. You know, I don't want to do that or whatever. But I think anyone that's interested enough to, you know, number one, know about the Berkman Center, you know, spend their time that way, and, you know, it's going to be probably a person that's good for them to know.
Right. Okay, I got you now. So, like, if for example, if we went there and we, like, became really good friends,
Mutually beneficial.
yeah, with Amanda Palmer, and and we were like, would you? Here's Amanda Palmer on the art of asking. It's like, would you like to go to lunch with Amanda Palmer? Well, that'll cost you, you know, $1,000, of which we'll keep 200. She keeps 200, and, you know, it's a really nice lunch for $600, or something like that.
So when I go there, or Karen and I go there, because she might help me be brave, we could have a list of those things to propose and people to propose them to.
Yeah, and I think it's worth coming back to those questions, like, what are people getting? So sometimes it's a perk, and, like, they feel good, like, you've helped someone else, like you have a good feeling about that. Sometimes it's a real concrete thing, like a copy of the book, or a quasi-concrete thing, like an experience that you could buy, a unique thing that could happen to you, a ticket or something to some kind of event. But I think that there's less material things, like what do you actually get? What are they actually supporting? What are they actually receiving if they read the book? And I think we need to think more, what is our USP? I think you said something nice about if the accelerators were going really well, then that is. But I don't know that we can actually say, oh, well, we've got this vibrant accelerator program. But that could be the thing we're asking for money to help start, right? Like we piloted.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it something we asked them to help start, or is it something, if they have a problem, that we can help them, accelerate?
Yeah, you could sell direct consultation things, just like Kyo was doing. I think she had a $200 thing, so we could say, for $200, or we could undercut Kyo.
185.
Yeah, 185. Come on, don't go to Kyo, go to us. I think that'd be great.
I think we could be really effective. I think it's, just by virtue of how long we've known each other and how experienced we are at sort of clustering on an issue.
But I think there could be certain things like if our target was to start a company, that costs money. In fact, Ray would be a really helpful person because he's just recently gone through the rigmarole of starting a not-for-profit and could comment on this. He did all of that paperwork himself, and if I remember correctly, it was a bit of a pain in the neck, but it wasn't so horrible. Ray, are you still on the line?
Well, I mean, as you know, it took about a year a year to haggle with the IRS before having everything approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an impossible thing, but
I mean, it's not a complete trivial thing, and obviously will depend, on how things go and who reads your application, because, in principle, it might be approved automatically, but or it may, take several rounds of questions.
So, but if in terms of money, or what people could crowdfund, if they were chipping in money to help us start a company, that would be kind of nice, right? So they'd get the book as a perk now. They'd see that we're reliable, and then we can actually do something. When the company starts, they'd get a ticket. They could get a ticket or a voucher as well for whatever the service is that we provide. And
well, of course, now.
Go ahead.
Now, by the way, if you're going to start, sorry. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, if you're talking about starting a company organization, another thing you could look is that there is this thing we've talked with Aaron about, what they now call the S company, that's sort of, in between the for-profit and non-profit.
S corp, yeah. It's isn't it sole proprietorship, or it's just a limited liability thing or something.
Yeah, I forget the exact details. It's been a while, but I think that's right. Usual word. I think a word's called social ventures. So that's something like that might be appropriate. That it's, I'd have to. But it's been a while, so I'd have to remember how that goes. But sure, I mean, but then the other thing, it seems like if you have this campaign, is also maybe if one could do, going back to an idea that Marnita suggested of having, several levels. That, the minimum thing is, let's say, yes, it'll support, working on the next year's book. Then there's this incorporating and accelerator and other things at higher levels. So it's kind of having to be open-ended that, here are, depending on how much interest and how much resources we can raise, we would love to do all these things. But
yeah, and we could use the crowdfunding thing, assuming the best, assuming we actually get enough people looking at it and thinking about it that they can kind of decide to have a bit of as a bit of a research thing to say yeah, we got she got 586 backers buying a digital copy of the PDF. Well, we'll give that away for free. So we could say pledge $1 or more to get a PDF copy, like digitally signed PDF copy or something, you know, something a little special. But as you're saying, like if we kind of make these perks go to the different levels, if we found lots of people wanted a PDF version of the book, but like nobody wanted a personal consultation, even if we drove the price down, then we know like people want books, they don't want consultations, or whatever, something like that. Anyway.
To me, if I were just coming into it cold, I'd want maybe my name in print, help with a project, and I may or may not want a book. I think I'd want connections and, you know, name it, you know, ability to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, I think that some people might need help with that, as you notice with IBNI. Like some people might want that, but they might say, "Oh, well, I've never used Google Hangouts before." In which case, then like charging them, you know, $50 for like a Google Hangout tutorial, and they can join the meetings anytime or something like that. You know.
Well, I know that is totally worth it. You know, so many people just don't get that kind of stuff, and you know, almost anyone could help them with it. But we have, you know, incredible experience, and we kind of keep on top of the changes. So I think that's
I always
that definitely could be a reward. You know, we'll set you up to do live streaming on YouTube, right, like we do.
Yeah, that was reasonable. It might cost more than $50. Actually, I mean, I just think back to like this time when my sister was an undergrad in New York, and she was charging people. I think she was charging $100 an hour for tutoring algebra, and I was like, I was so mad because I was like, I was the one that had the undergraduate degree in mathematics. You got an undergraduate degree in journalism. How can you get away with charging people that much money for tutoring them on algebra? But she could, so she did.
She just did, yeah.
So anyway, so that's an interesting conversation, but I suppose we run a little bit over the.
Yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment at 3, so I'm good still though.
Okay. All right. Any other closing comments? Otherwise, I'm gonna close.
Deadline, target date. Do we have that on our Rosetta?
Good question. Deadlines is probably several deadlines. Yeah, I think Jan 1 to maybe put it up onto Lightning Source. I don't know if that's reasonable. We've got 10 days plus a holiday intervening, but
we can do that.
I'll try to get you a new PDF
with the new thing. Yeah, and then I don't know. I'm kind of at a roadblock with Amanda. I mean, she's happy to help, and we're doing some other stuff together, but getting her pinned down to get it finalized. I can sort of do the Photoshop work, but not really, and I love hanging out with her and just talking through it and learning. But so I either that or I'll just hire somebody through Fiverr or something.
Don't know what to suggest.
I can upload the inside and I can upload the inside anyway, get that all ready and then do the cover, and when it's ready, it's ready.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess about Amanda, I don't know what to say, but certainly for me, I'll try to get the new PDF done ASAP, so you can have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, holidays, everybody's running a million miles an hour. It's pro bono work, and
well, you could hire her, I guess, if you could say,
Yeah, I mean, a cover is usually like $500, so it's it's not out of reach unless you have a lot of those little $500 bills coming in.
Yeah.
I owe $1,000 to a scanner person, publishing, scanning, and
Well, I think we should try to avoid spending money as much as possible, to be honest.
Yeah.
Until we have some more guaranteed incomes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think about this campaign. Yeah, I think we need to know what can people contribute and when can they contribute, but we may not know a whole lot right away. So let's ask people, for example, even if they're not contributing directly to building the campaign, we could ask people, will they contribute to being perks, as we were talking about before? Would Howard pays $500 to go to dinner with Howard? Will he go? Lisa's saying there's a key. What's the key? What are they contributing to? Cool. And that could be an interesting way to reach out to the authors of the book, to tell them, not will you buy the book, but will you be a perk in our part of our perk package? That would increase our reach a lot. Then we'd have someone in Argentina. We'd have someone,
Yeah. And I think, like Paola could definitely be a great perk. She's,
Yes.
Mexico University professor from Ecuador. There's a lot of cool stuff about her.
Yeah.
As a product.
Very, very marketable. But so are we all, I think, especially if we come with a handbook in our hand and go to a nice lunch or dinner.
Okay. Well, let's keep. If you can go over it in the next week, great. If you can't, fine. And we'll convene next week and keep working on it. And I'll work on putting the Lightning Source version up, so we can get income that way through Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. The one thing I'd say is let's make a little roadmap, and I think Lisa's basically made the roadmap for us. So if we ever want another concrete example of a roadmap, that thing in this document, which we now have, is great. Purpose of campaign. What's the perks? What's the target audience? What's the communication strategy? There's two of those actually. Communication strategy continued. I think that's good. So I think we can update that as time goes by, and then update the public-facing one, which I'll make sure that there's a link to the actual campaign page.
Yeah, I know it came through one not long ago, but I can't remember.
Well, I'll put it into the other one. Anyway, people have got to get going. So
yeah. Okay.
So see you later. I'm stopping the broadcast.